Hi, this is Munson with Munson Music, and we're going to talk about how you play a song called Hopeless Wanderer by Mumford and Son. And it starts out with a really cool piano intro, and you can kind of simulate those notes that are kind of on the piano by playing the open G. Oh, and we're going to end up capoing this on 3rd fret. But we can start out on the open G and kind of think groups of 3, like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then it almost starts following kind of our verse form where we've got kind of G with 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then you go to 4th fret on the D string, and then we're going to go to 2nd fret on the G string, and we're going to do that 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then we go to 1st fret on the B string, and we do that 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then we go to open B with kind of 2 groups of 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then 2nd fret on the G string for 2 groups of 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then we go to open G for kind of 4 groups of 3 again. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So all together you got kind of that G. It's kind of a waiting thing, and then we start following the verse form. G, F sharp, A, C, B, A, G. Now those notes can kind of get backed up by different chords though, and we'd start on a G major chord through our verse. We have 1st finger on the A string on the 2nd fret, 2nd finger on the low E string on the 3rd fret, and the 3rd finger on the high E string on the 3rd fret. And if you strum all those together, that sounds a G major chord, and it sounds really happy. And then from the G major on our verse, actually there's this really quick change to a D major chord. When we play D major, 1st finger is going to go to the G string on the 2nd fret, 2nd finger is going to go to the high E on the 2nd fret, and 3rd finger on the B string on the 3rd fret. And if you strum just the D, G, B, and E, kind of the skinny 4 strings, that sounds a D major chord, and it sounds really happy. And then from the D major, we go to an A minor chord. When we play A minor, 1st finger is going to go to the B string on the 1st fret, 2nd finger on the D string on the 2nd fret, and 3rd finger on the G string on the 2nd fret. And if you strum all those together, that sounds an A minor chord, and it sounds very sad. And then from the A minor in our verse, we're going to be going to an E minor chord. And when you play E minor, 1st finger is going to go to the A string on the 2nd fret, 2nd finger is going to go to the D string on the 2nd fret. If you strum all those together, that sounds an E minor chord, and it sounds really sad. And then from the E minor, we're going to go to back to the D major chord, but then we go to a C major chord. When we play C major, 1st finger is going to go to the B string on the 1st fret, 2nd finger is going to go to the D string on the 2nd fret, 3rd finger is going to go to the A string on the 3rd fret. And if you strum all those together, that sounds a C major chord, and it sounds really happy. So one way to kind of work it through the intro, you'd have kind of G major, it's kind of a waiting thing, and then we start following the verses where we got G, D, A minor, E minor, D, C. Now there are some other voicings for these chords you may want to play around with too. Another way to play a G major chord, you could put 1st finger on the A string 2nd, 2nd finger on the low E string on the 3rd, 3rd finger on the B string on the 3rd fret, and the pinky on the high E string on the 3rd fret. And if you strum all those together, that's another way to play the G major. And that D major that happens right after the G actually sounds like something called D slash F sharp, which means it's a D chord but has an F sharp in the bass. One way to play that chord would be doing 1st finger on the low E 2nd fret, 2nd finger on the G string 2nd fret, 3rd finger on the high E string 2nd fret, and the pinky on the B string on the 3rd fret. And if you strum all those together, it sounds something called D slash F sharp, or D with an F sharp in the bass. Now another way to play that chord would be doing the regular D major we talked about and bringing your thumb over the low E string on the 2nd fret. And another good cheat actually for that would be something called D sus slash F sharp, where we kind of go with 1st finger on the A string 2nd fret, 2nd finger on the G string on the 2nd fret, 3rd finger on the B string on the 3rd fret, and the pinky on the high E string on the 3rd fret. So it looks a lot like that G major voicing we were just doing. So just kind of swapping kind of 1 and 2 for strings in a way. And then from the D sus slash F sharp, we could go to the A minor chord, or if you kind of dig in on these drone voicings, you can actually do something called A7 sus, where you would take the 1st finger from the low E string 2nd fret and go to the D string 2nd fret, kind of still leaving 2nd finger on the G string 2nd fret, 3rd finger on the B string 3rd, and the pinky on the high E string 3rd. And that sounds an A7 sus, so you could substitute that for your A minor chord. And And then for that E minor chord, we can substitute in something called E minor 7. And the way you play that, first finger is going to go to the A string 2nd fret, second finger is going to go to the D on the 2nd fret, third finger on the B string 3rd fret, and the pinky on the high E string 3rd fret. And if you strum all those together, that sounds like E minor 7, which can be kind of a cool thing to do, because then you don't have to move 3 and 4. And then for the D chord, you could substitute in something called D sus, where you just take your first finger and go to the G string 2nd fret, third finger stays on the B string 3rd, pinky stays on the high E 3rd, and you kind of strum the top 4 strings for that. That's called D suspended or D sus. And then for the C major chord, you could substitute in something called C major 9. And the way you play C major 9, first finger is going to go to the D string 2nd fret, second finger on the A string 3rd fret, third finger stays on the B string 3rd, pinky stays on the high E string 3rd, and you kind of strum the A string to the high E string, and that sounds like C major 9. So you could kind of use those other voicings for that G, D slash F sharp, A minor, A7 sus, E minor 7, D sus, C major 9. So you could kind of play around with those voicings too. Now there's something kind of weird about the rhythm through the tune though, and it's actually kind of in something called 12/8 time, which means that you can kind of feel it in 4, or you can kind of feel it in 3. So it's something called a compound meter. So one way to feel it actually would be in 4, and this, if you're just starting out, this is probably a better way to kind of approach the tune. And so you could kind of work out a 4/4 strum pattern for it. One of my favorite 4/4 strum patterns for a song like this is down, down, up, up, down, up. So you took the G and just tried that a lot. You have down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. Now the weird part is there are a couple places where we end up having to kind of work the kind of half the strum pattern. Actually, when we get to that E minor and D, we just do a down, down, up on both of those chords. And if you want to get in that D right after that first G, yeah, this is kind of weird. You end up doing kind of a down, down, up, and then an up, and then hitting that D for the last down of the strum pattern. So it's a little weird there. But if we tried our verse with our strum pattern, we have G with a down, down, up, and then D slash F sharp down, up, A minor down, down, up, down, E minor down, down, D down, down, C down, down, up, down, up. And that's kind of our intro, and it's kind of the beginning of our verses. Verse form. Now, if you want to feel it in 3 though, and this sounds more like the recording, you could do that with a couple different strum patterns. One way would be to kind of work a down, down, up, down, up. So if you're on the G, you've just tried that a lot. You got down, down, up, down, G, down, down, up, down, G, down, down, up, down, G, down, down, up, down. Now the weird thing is you're kind of feeling that in 4. You're going 1, 2, 3, 4. It's kind of your main. So it's almost like 3 is taking the place of what was 2 before. It's a little weird. But if we tried that through our verse form, the weird part is we'd end up doing that 3 times. And then on that last one, we would hit the D slash F sharp. And then we have the A minor for 4. 3, 4. And then we have the E minor for 2. G for 2. Down, down, up, down, down. And then the C for 4. 1, 2, 3. A variation on that actually that happens later on is kind of a down, up, down, up. So if you wanted to kind of, sometimes it's going to make it a little bit easier because you're kind of cheating a down. So G with a down, up, 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 down. So we tried that first verse with that variation. You'd have G with a down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, D, up, down, A down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Play around with that, and then from there we'd be going into our pre-chorus part. And on our pre-chorus part, it kind of feels like you're still in 3 and you're halving things. But if you wanted to approach this from kind of that down, down, up, down, up, it would be like doing a down, down, up on each of the chords. So if you're just starting out, this would be a good way to kind of approach it. Is doing E minor with a down, down, up, D with a down, down, G with a down, down, C with a down, down, up, down, E minor with a down, down, D with a down, down, G with a down, down, C with a down, down, E minor down, down, D down, down, G down, down, C down, down, E minor down, down, D down, down, G down, down, C down, down, up, down, up, and then down, down, up, down. Now if you want to match the recording though, they're kind of feeling that still in the threes. So, and when you get to that last C, it's almost like you're kind of feeling 7 downs, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 on that very last C push. So we try to kind of working off our down, down, up, down, up. We'd have E minor with a 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, D, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, G, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, C, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then E minor 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, D, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, G, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, C, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, D, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, G, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, G, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, your chorus part. And on our chorus part, actually, we kind of intro it, and now it kind of feels like you're in 4 when we get to the chorus part. So you could do it a couple different ways, actually. In the recording, it almost feels like you'd be doing 8 downs on the chords. You have kind of E minor with a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, E minor. Or you could be thinking down, down, up, down, up, kind of through that part. That down, down, up, down, E minor, down, down, up, down, E minor, down, down, up, down, E minor, down, down, up. Or you could kind of vary those between them. Or it almost sounds like what traditionally I would call a gallop rhythm, which is kind of a down, down, up 4 times on each chord. So you'd have E minor with kind of a down, 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 down. Start with kind of some instrumental E minors, and then we go into our chorus part. So if we tried our chorus, actually it's just kind of mixing up a lot of chords that we talked about. If we tried that with the down, down, up, down, up, we'd have E minor with the down, down, up, down, E minor, down, down, up, down, E minor, down, down, up, down, E minor, down, down, up, down, C, down, down, up, down, E minor, down, down, up, down, D, down, down, up, down, E minor, down, down, up, down, E minor, down. Parts. Now the weird part is to play along with Mumford & Son, instead of starting on a G major, they're actually starting on a B flat major chord. So to play along with the recording, what you want to do is take a capo, and if you put the capo on 3rd fret, then now your G major is really a B flat major, your D major is really an F major, your A minor is really a C minor chord, your E minor is really a G minor chord, and then your C major is really an E flat major chord. But we could kind of start it out with that intro lick where we had kind of that open G. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, then 1 G, F sharp, A, C, B, A, G. Or if you wanted to, you could even kind of throw in some extra notes. And actually, this is kind of weird, but it relates to bass notes. We'll talk about some bass notes in a moment. But on that first G note, you may want to throw in the low E string on the 3rd fret to kind of fill in for that G chord. On that change to the F sharp, you may want to kind of thicken that up by going 2nd fret on the low E string for an F sharp note 2. I'm really thinking that. I know the capo's kind of messing things up, right? But then on the 1st fret on the B string, you could throw in your open A as kind of a bass note on that. And I'm doing that hybrid picking, so I'm using my pick for my basses and my fingers for the notes above. And then when you get to the E minor, you could kind of, or the open B, you could throw in the open E string, kind of implying the E minor. On the 2nd fret on the G, you could do the open D. And then you could do 3rd fret on the A string for kind of that open G note at the beginning. So I think that could be kind of a cool idea. So if you wanted to, you could throw in some bass notes with those, and you'd have 3rd fret on the low E string for kind of that beginning part. And you could even throw in the open B if you wanted to on some of those licks and kind of cheat it a little bit. So you have the G, G, D/F sharp, A minor. You can kind of fill in part of the chord too, actually. And this is kind of cool because in the solo parts, actually, there's some things called arpeggios where you play little bits of the chord, actually, for a lot of the solo parts through the tune. So it might be kind of cool to figure out some different ways you could kind of break up the chord too. So I'm kind of throwing in the bass notes and kind of implying some stuff, just kind of throwing this at you free form. But that might be kind of a cool thing to kind of do through the solo parts too. Or we could kind of just strum through that part. If we strum through our intro with our down, down, up, down, up, then we'd have G with the down, down, up, down, up, and we kind of follow that verse form. So we got G, down, up, D, A minor, down, up, down, E minor, down, down, D, down, down, C, down, down, up, down, up. Or you could be feeling that in 3, kind of with that down, down, up on 4 times on each one. And that does get a little weird with that D chord in there. But you got G with a down, down, up, G, G, D slash F sharp, A minor, E minor, D, C, C. Or you can kind of work it as that variation, that down, up through each one. So you have G with a down, up, down, up, G, D. Idea and kind of did it through our verse part, we'd have G, A minor, E minor, D, C, G, D, A minor, E minor. We kind of go back to our verse form actually for our second verse. So then we got G, D slash F sharp, A minor, E minor, D, C. And then we just repeat that straight up. Into our pre-chorus part. Now if you're kind of digging on the down, down, up, down, because it's a little bit easier for you, then we could try it that way, kind of working just the down, down up through a lot of the chords. We have E minor with the down, down, up, D, down, down, G, down, down, C, down, down, up, down, E minor, down, down, D, down, down, G, down, down, C, down, down, E minor, down, down, D, down, down, G, down, down, C, down, down, E minor, down, down, D, down. Or if we want to kind of match the recording a little bit better, we could work it off the 3s. And then we have E minor with the down, up, 2, D, G, C, 1, 2, 3, 4, E minor, D, G, C, E minor, D, G, C, E minor, D, G, C. And if you want to do that push, you have to 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, big C. And then from there, we'd be going into our chorus part. So we tried that with just our kind of, now we talked about a couple ways you could work it through that part, and you may want, with the downs, you may want to try and kind of add in some muting, where you kind of take the flat right of the right hand and kind of lay it in on top of the saddle. So now you're trying to feel things in 4 though, so it's kind of 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and you can even chord that through your whole chorus. You have E minor, 2, 3, 4, 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 C, 2, 3, 4, E minor, 2, 3, 4, D, 2, 3, 4. Or you could kind of work that with the down, down, up, down, up. And then you have E minor, down, down, up, down, 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 C, down, down, up, down, E minor, down, up, down, B, down, down, up. Or if you're kind of digging on the gallop rhythm thing, you could kind of have that E minor with the down, down, up 4 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, E minor, E minor, E minor, C, E minor, D. So the choice is yours. And then from there, we'd be going back into our verse part, actually, kind of our second verse. But one other thing that I would think about adding to the song, though, is bass notes. And a lot of times on that first down, especially, well, we could go to just down, down, up, down, just to go over this concept. You'd have G with kind of a bass down, up, down. That would kind of add a lot of weight to your downbeat, which can be kind of cool and almost simulate playing with a bass player. So on that G, you'd have the low E string for your bass, down, up, bass, down, up, down. On the D slash F sharp, you'd have the low E string for your bass on that chord, the D sus slash F sharp. On the A minor, you'd have an A string for your bass. You get an A minor chord. On the E minor, you've got a low E string for your bass. On the D, you've got a straight up D string for the bass. And on the C or the C major 9, you have the A string for your bass on that. So if we tried that, actually, and through this part, it kind of definitely has that 12/8 kind of feel. So you could kind of feel it in 3, or you could kind of feel it in 4. So we tried that with our down, down, up, down, up, or bass down, up, down, just to try it. The weird part is where that D changes on the G on that first G. So you can make that just kind of down, up on that very last down. So you can still do your bass, down, up on the G, but then you go to the D for the down, up. A minor with the whole bass down, up, down, up. And then the E minor would have kind of a bass down, up. D would have a bass down, up. And then C would have kind of bass down, up, down, up. So we tried that through that second chorus. You'd have G with a bass, down, up, down, up. A minor with an A bass, down, up, down. E minor with low E bass, down. D with a D bass, down, up. C with an A bass, down, up, down. G with low E bass, down, up, D. A minor with an A bass, down, up, down. E minor with low E bass, down. D with a D bass, down. C with an A bass, down, down, up. So we want to try that. If we try to with kind of that down, down, up, and this is, and actually the variation, actually, I think is what really kind of sounds like. And you could kind of try and feel it in 3s and get your bass notes in. Now this is a little tricky. So on the G, you could go kind of bass, down, up, bass, down, up, bass, down, up. And then you got the D with the bass, down, up. A minor with an A bass, A bass, A bass, A bass, E minor with low E bass, D with the D bass, D bass, C with an A bass, A bass, A bass, A bass, G with low E bass, D slash F sharp low E bass, A minor with an A bass, and then E minor with low E bass, D with a D bass, C with an A bass. Or you can kind of lay in your bass and kind of vary it too. Or you could do that down, up as kind of the 3 feel too. So you'd have G, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, G, D slash F sharp, A minor with an A bass, E minor with low E bass, D with a D bass, C with an A bass. And this is a little weird in our second verse. We end up doing that G, A minor, E minor, D, C change, and we end up doing that 1, 2, 3 times, and then we kind of end with kind of that G chord tag that we had from the first verse. So we tried it through that last part of the verse. You have G with a low E bass, D, A minor, E minor with low E bass, D with a D bass, and then G with low E bass, D with low E bass, G. So it's kind of that waiting groove on the D chord again. And then from there we go kind of back into kind of our straight up verse form where we kind of end on the C chord. So you're going to be back to the G, D slash F sharp, A minor, E minor, D, C, G with low E bass, D slash F sharp, A minor, E minor, back into kind of our pre chorus part. And in the recording, it actually almost sounds like kind of downstrokes through that part. But you could do it with kind of your bass down up, up down up kind of idea, and you could kind of half it that way. So if you're kind of starting out, this might be kind of a cool way to kind of get basses in. It's kind of doing E minor with a bass, down up D with a D bass, down up G with a low E bass, down C with an A bass, down up down E minor with low E bass, down G with a D bass, down G with a low E bass, down C with an A bass, down E minor with low E bass, down G with a D bass, down G with low E bass, down E minor with low E bass, down G with a D bass, down G with low E bass, down C with an A bass, down down C with an A bass, down up down. It's kind of your hit at the very end. Or if we were trying that kind of with our threes, I'm kind of working the down, down, up, you'd have E minor, D, G, and the C, E minor, D, G, C, E minor, D, G, C, E minor. And then from there we'd be going into our solo part, or into our chorus part, but it's kind of a solo instrumental chorus part. So you could even do it with kind of downs, kind of that 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and kind of idea through the E minor. So we tried our chorus that way. You'd have E minor, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, E minor, E minor, E minor, C, E minor, D. Or you could do it with kind of your down, down, up, and you have E minor with a down, or you can do the bass down, up, down. So we have E minor with a bass down, down, 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 C with an A bass down, down, E minor with a bass down, down, D with an E bass down, down. Now through that solo part though, it does kind of work off arpeggios, and what arpeggio means is broken chords. So on the E minor chord, if you kind of started out with kind of a bass note, and then kind of went to the G and the D, B string, and then back to G, D, G, that might be kind of a cool one to work. There's lots of possibilities here. So I'm kind of using my bass note to kind of imply the E minor, and then kind of arpeggiating little pieces of the chord. So you could kind of think E minor, E minor, E minor, C with an A bass, E minor with a low E bass, D with a D bass, and I would kind of move the strings on that to kind of that D, B, G, E, right? D, B, G, E, B, G, B. So I'm taking that pattern and kind of going up a string for that. Or you could even work those strings actually through it too. So the arpeggio might be kind of a cool thing to do. You might want to try that finger style too, to kind of into that. That could be a very cool way to do it too. So it's almost like implying those banjo parts that kind of come through there. And then we're basically repeating our chorus until we get to our outro part, which is still in 4. And it's kind of mixing up a lot of those same chords. So if we try our down, down, up, through the outro, you'd have G with a down, down, up, down, 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 C with a down, down, up, down, E minor down, up, down, D with a down, up, down, G down, up, down, C down, up, down, G down, up, down, D down, up, down, E minor down, D down, C down, up, down, C down, up, down, G down, up, down, G down, up, down, G down, up, down, G down, up, down to the big G. Or we could try that with our bass down, up, and then we have G with kind of that bass down, down, G with the bass down, down, G with the bass down, down, G with the bass down, down, C with an A bass down, down, E minor with low E bass down, down, D with the D bass down, down, G with low E bass down, down, C with an A bass down, down, G with low E bass down, down, D with the D bass down, down, E minor with low E bass down, D with the D bass down, C with an A bass down, down, C with an A bass down, down, G with low E bass down, down, G with low E bass down, down, G with low E bass down. you could strum through Hopeless Wanderer by Mumford and Sons. So good luck!